Taurus, this is the first time I'm doing the past, present, and contemplation spread on this particular channel here. So if you're curious as to the card placements in the spread, just go ahead and click the description box below. It talks about it. It also mentions both decks being used because, yes, there are 2 decks being used. I'm getting fancy with it tonight. Taurus. The Tower in the inverse. The World in the inverse. The Devil in the inverse. My lord, are all of them upside down? No, most of them are right side up. Okay. Tower in the inverse. Putting it back together but not learning the lessons? Is that what we got going on here? So you guys were starting to fight in the last... Weren't you guys starting to fight this week or last week? I forget. Yeah, got the devil in the upright there. Jeepers. Okay, I see. All right. You're a little stuck on a past situation, okay? So here, you have already passed this tower moment. You have already moved on from it, but you keep going back to it over and over. And you're doing it because you're kind of stuck on it, like, how did I get here? How did this even happen? How did I let that happen? I learned my lessons. I figured out what went wrong. I should be over it, but I'm not because I haven't figured out why it happened. So I would actually say it happened to push you out of your comfort zone. So just go ahead and let that go. You're grateful for the lessons learned. And you actually pulled some real resources out of that you learned to do something with. But you still are questioning why it happened. So what you're trying to do here is you're focusing on this thing in the past that really shook your foundation, really shook you at the core, and really made you have to go within and change some things about yourself. You did this, and it's over with, but you keep revisiting it because you want to find out why it happened. But the problem is it happened because of other people in your life. So if you're examining yourself, this was an external force. You can't find the answer within yourself. You actually have to talk to the other people who were involved in the situation if you want to put it to rest. Or you can just accept the fact that the tower moment happened. It pushed you out of your comfort zone. You got this growth and boom, move on. I would choose the latter of the two. I wouldn't try and figure it out anymore. What happened, happened. What's done is done. Move forward. And I know that's easier said than done. I don't want to oversimplify your life problems. But sometimes just letting it go and moving forward is the best thing. Because the next thing you have in your present energy, and this is the tangible right now, is you have the world in the inverse. The world is about beginnings and endings. So if it's in the inverse, what's it about? Not being able to end something, not being able to move on. If you don't let go of this new energy, the new stuff doesn't come in. So you have to let go of this old energy. You have to have a detox of the brain because you're not feeling the emotion of this anymore. It's just something that gets stuck in your head and you get stuck on it and you can't let go. So here we have the devil in the upright and we have the 9 of wands. So this is you understanding that this is a vice of yours. This is you wanting to drop these walls, wanting to let these burdens go. This is you wanting not to fight this fight with yourself anymore. But for some reason, you just keep going back to this past energy. So here we have the devil in the inverse. This would be where you want to go. You want to let go of this bad habit of going back to where this is. However, you don't feel like you have faith in the process. And you are perfectly aware that this still has an emotional pull. How do I put this? The memory of this is triggered by an emotion. You don't hold the emotions of this past event. You hold the memory, the intellect, the trigger in your head. But every once in a while, you get this little emotional bump, and you're like, oh, and you go back to thinking about it and over analyzing this situation. So I'm going to take the past off the table for you, okay? Because this is what we're trying to get rid of. And this is you wanting to move forward and get rid of this, but you can't yet, right? It's weird because you just keep getting this emotional trigger, and then you get stuck in the intellect of what happened and wanting to figure out why. Let's look at the present, because the present is the only thing that you have control over right now, okay? Let's see what we can do for you. Yeah, stress and anxiety, feeling like you're lacking and not having a solid foundation. Holding on to something too tightly, not changing your perspective, and not feeling victorious. What about this in the past was so important that you have to hold on to the negativity of it? You reach an emotional trigger and then you hold on to the negative thoughts, and you have to figure out why it happened. And I'm telling you, the only reason it happened was to push you out of your comfort zone. The reason it happened was so you could do what you had to do to fix the situation. And it's already fixed. You've already done everything that you can do. I could just keep pulling cards and it would say the same thing over and over. The lesson was learned. Make peace with it and move on. I hope you found a message that served your highest good. And I'll see you guys next time, okay?